Let's go live to London now and join my favourite Brit, Spiked Online Editor Tom Slater. Tom, welcome to the program. 3 million documents from the Epstein files have been released over the weekend, and they've done more damage, if that were possible, to Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, not least of which some pretty damning photos picturing the former prince over an unidentified woman. It's not a good look. And Prime Minister Keir Starmer has told reporters Andrew should now certainly go to the United States and give evidence to the US Congress. It's pretty bad for the former prince.
Oh, absolutely, James. I mean, Andrew famously said in that Newsnight interview that he didn't sweat. I dare say that he'll be sweating now. There's the imagery here. There's that image that has now gone across the world of him appearing to crouch over a young woman. There's also more kind of seedy, embarrassing details within the emails of Epstein lining up a quite clever, beautiful and trustworthy Russian woman of the age of 26 for Andrew to meet, who he enthusiastically agreed to that meeting. But there's also much more damning details, I think, about just how close the relationship between the former prince and the disgraced paedophile financier were, even after he claimed to have broken up the relationship, or the relationship had supposedly soured. In 2010, 2 years after Epstein was originally convicted of soliciting girls as young as 14 for sex, Andrew was inviting Epstein to Buckingham Palace. The fact that they were continuing to kind of trade chummy emails, even after that original conviction, Andrew even kind of joking with Epstein about whether or not it was good to be free after his original charges had run their course, I think has completely driven a coach and horses through his original denials. Of course, we should make absolutely clear that Andrew has never been convicted of a crime. There was that £12 million settlement to the late Virginia Giuffre in America, but that was on the condition that he didn't accept any criminal liability. But I think that the very least that we could say about this is that it's deeply seedy at one end, and also basically explodes any claims that Andrew might have had to being clear and honest with the British public when he made all those denials a number of years ago.
Obviously, this ramps up more pressure on him to tell all, but no one can force him to. So do you think that calls even by Keir Starmer to go to the US Congress and testify will come to nothing, or is there a possibility that he might?
I mean, Prince Andrew has, if nothing else, a kind of capacity for self-destruction. I mean, when he essentially did that Newsnight interview a few years ago, which proved to be such a tremendous self-damaging exercise, that was on his own steam. So he's not without faith in himself that he can turn these things around. That being said, I think he was chastened by that. I don't think there was anything to gain for him or the royal family in him going to address the US Congress. And I just don't see how this is going to end in anything other than Andrew continuing to kind of slink to the edges of public life and try to avoid this story and ride it out. Of course, Keir Starmer is going to come out and say this. It would be impossible for him to say anything else. But I would be amazed if Prince Andrew was frankly dumb enough to reopen this and to try and clear his name in front of the US Congress men and women.
Keir Starmer says the first priority is the victims, not looking after the former prince. I have to ask, though, and forgive my cynicism, but how convenient is this for Keir Starmer? Because he's under all sorts of pressure right now. It must be pretty nice for him, seedy as it is, to be able to say, look over there, and talk about Andrew.
No, absolutely. I mean, I haven't checked the opinion polls recently, but I would imagine Prince Andrew is just about more unpopular than Keir Starmer. At the moment, it's probably neck and neck. So having a even more discredited person to gesture against and posture against, I suppose, is useful for him. I suppose the one thing that we should say about Prince Andrew, though, because whilst a lot of these images are damning and whilst a lot of the claims which have come out and the emails which have come out of these latest tranche of Epstein files cast him in a terrible light, I think we should also avoid a kind of guilt by association. He does deny all of these claims specifically, and we can certainly damn him on what we do know, whilst not allowing for that kind of essentially complete suspension of due process about the things that we don't know, which even Prince Andrew, as horrendous a figure as he is in many ways, is entitled to.